Today's topic is about how to keep motivated. I guess I chose this topic because I'm very often asked on my fitness Instagram account how I keep motivated to work out. And what's interesting in this is that you might think that if you're not into fitness, well, this isn't for you or it won't help your particular case. But trust me, finding and keeping motivation, whether it is to work out or start a business or to study or to go walk your dog, it's all one and the same thing. It's the same process. It's about how you tackle the situation. Once you've got that hack, you can use it in all aspects of your life, trust me. First of all, I think the biggest problem we need to deal with is that we wait for motivation to come to us, right? Like, I know I want to go to the gym after work, but right now I've just finished work. I'm sitting in my sofa watching TV, and I'm hoping that by magic somehow motivation will just come to me. Turn off the TV for me, get me changed for the gym, and kick me out of the house. Well, we seriously need to wake up because this is never going to happen. It's not how it works. And a big mistake that we make, or that people think, is that motivation is in our head or that it's a part of us or something. And I can see that because when I'm asked how I keep motivated, I can feel the envy in the way people ask me. Like, I'm very lucky to be motivated all the time and to make it to the gym 4 or 5 days a week after work. And I can really feel the, whoa, you're so lucky. I wish I had the same motivation. Almost meaning like I was born like you or something. But motivation is not a personality trait or a genetic thing. Some people are not born with more motivation than others. The difference between motivated people and the others is that motivating people do. They do things, they act, they break patterns. They don't sit there just waiting around. Motivation is in the doing. Most of the time what happens is we're sitting here and we're thinking to ourselves, how am I going to find the motivation for this? And we just wait. And it starts to become a problem when all we do is think about it. We just here think about how we're going to find that motivation, when the motivation really is, like I said, in the doing. It's in the action. If you want to have motivation, you have to fake it to make it. You have to fake the motivation to be motivated. And don't get me wrong, when I say fake it to make it, I'm not asking you to jump around and pretend you're happy or like 100% motivated or whatever. You can actually be motivated and very like sad and tired about it because it's tough being motivated. It's not an easy thing. It's not easy. But it's about doing anything you can to get you into the position where you're doing what you're supposed to do. And if I had to sum it up, I'd say that the secret to find motivation is to start anything for a very short period of time, like say for 1 minute. If you have to study, work for just 1 minute and motivation will start kicking in by itself. And there's a lot of science around this. Research shows that 80% of the time, once you get started, you'll keep going. You'll keep working. You'll keep doing whatever you started doing. And I don't know if you heard much about CBT, cognitive behavioral therapy, but it's a very used method by therapists to deal with depression. And I've been there, so I can tell you I'm not telling lies. I think being depressed must be on the lowest ever possible level of the motivation scale. Being depressed means you don't have the motivation for anything, like for the simplest things. You don't have motivation to get up. You don't have motivation to make your bed, to take a shower, to eat. Talking to people is so much. Anything is so much effort. Everything is too much to ask. So what CBT does is that because your mood is so low, to make you regain that, like your natural mood, they will try and make you do things that usually make you happy or feel accomplished or give you some sense of achievement. So you're asked to do whatever that thing is, which in the beginning sounds like a mountain to climb. For me, for example, it was playing the piano, which I loved, but completely lost the passion for it when I was depressed. No need to say getting me back to it was a proper challenge. But I was still willing to try the therapy, you know. I just wanted to get myself out of it. So I would have done anything at the time. So I started. The therapist asked me to sit and to start just literally for 1 minute, just playing some notes. So I started doing that. I started sitting on a chair. And at first, I'd just stare at the keyboard for a very long time, like without doing anything really. But that would be a start. Then without having any song in mind, I'd just play a few random notes. Like literally just same notes, 1, 2, 1, 2 for 1 minute, 2 minutes, 5 minutes. And before I knew it, I'd be spending hours on it. Same with running. My passion for it completely gone at the time. And if I lose passion for running, I'm telling you, there's definitely something wrong with me. It's a big deal. So how did I get back to it? I just put my running shoes on. Just this, literally. Then I'd go out. I wouldn't necessarily be running, but I'd still go for a walk. Then the walk turns into a jog, and the jog turns into a run, and the run turns into a long run, and the long run turns into achievement and happiness. That's all it is. And that was also the time when I started my YouTube channel. The therapist asked me about my hobbies, so I told her about this. And she was like, great, we're going to get that back. And I remember at the time I was so upset because I was like, are you kidding me? I currently can't even feed myself and you're expecting me to make YouTube videos. I was so angry and I was thinking the medical profession is such a failure. But again, I was so willing to get myself out of it. So I couldn't say it doesn't work if I didn't try. So I did what she said, started turning on my laptop and working for 1 minute. Then the minute turns into an hour, then the hour turns into a whole afternoon. Next session, she asked me where I am with the YouTube stuff and I told her I'd finished the episode. Honestly, this stuff works. It's about starting whatever you're supposed to be doing. And if I could do that being depressed, if I could find the motivation at the time, there's no way you can't do that in any situation now. And it's actually it's a beautiful thing because it's not that it only gets you do what you need to do. It also genuinely lifts you up because there's a sense of achievement. And when there's a sense of achievement, it somehow leads to happiness. Again, it's a bit of science. One sure thing, don't wait for things to be how you want them to be before you start. There's never going to be a perfect time for anything. I never waited for the weather to be as I wanted it to be when I was putting my running shoes on and going for a walk. I didn't wait for the sun to show up. I just went. And I also get that what often stops us to get started is that we expect ourselves to know what we're about to do. We expect ourselves to be experts. So when we find ourselves not knowing, a natural reaction is to back up because we don't want to be in a place we're not comfortable in. We want to stay in our comfort zone. Sometimes it's not a lack of motivation. Sometimes it's just us not wanting to be ignorant or to struggle. Sometimes it's just our ego. It doesn't have anything to do with motivation. Let me explain. Like, I don't know, you might be someone wanting to start going to the gym and you might be thinking, okay, maybe I can find the motivation to go. But once I'm there, what do I do? So although you made an effort, the process is easily broken if you expect to know everything in whatever you do. The question and the focus shouldn't be there. The focus is on getting you started. Don't worry about how slow the process is. When I was sitting in front of my piano staring at it, I didn't care about how long I was staring at it. What matters is that I was staring at it. And that was the start. The process might be slow, but discipline and direction are more important. And sometimes you really have to talk to yourself. I think talking to yourself nowadays is so underrated and it's almost like you're crazy if you talk to yourself. But I can tell you sometimes the difference between you going to the gym and you not going to the gym or you not writing that blog or whatever is you not talking to yourself enough. I'm 100% sure that many times I would have stayed home if I didn't say to myself, Zinab, get up. Zinab, put your running shoes on. Zinab, turn off the TV. Like literally, you have to break the pattern yourself. Bad pattern and habits are not going to get fixed by themselves. Remove all the distractions, but of course you have to want that. And every day you can make things easier for you by deciding who you want to be and how you're going to spend your time. In another episode, I talk about how, I think it's my whole podcast is about this, how important are baby steps and little things. Because every day and every morning, you can decide what mood you're going to be in and how you're going to behave. You can decide how you're going to talk to yourself when you notice yourself being a bit too soft and, disappearing in the sofa. That's how you make it. When you name things and start talking to yourself, the brain starts to make them real. And so you have more power to act on your thoughts. But again, you have to want that because no one is going to do it for you. I'm going to finish off here and come back to the people who specifically asked me about the gym. Well, there you go. I set this mindset every morning. Then I make my life easier by making my bag or, anything ready for after work. And when I finish work, I said to myself, Zinab, get up, it's time. So I get dressed. And when I get dressed, I'm not asking myself where I'm going to find the motivation to work out. I just get dressed. The motivation will come later when I get to the gym, start lifting a few dumbbells or whatever. Same applies to everything in life. I don't think I've actually mentioned this word enough along this episode, but I guess the key word is not even, we've been talking about motivation, but the key word here is discipline. You probably came across this quote a lot in social media. Discipline will take you places motivation doesn't. So there you have it. Try and let me know. But I'm pretty sure once you start, you're gonna have same motivation as me.